this is my COVID band talks, Manic 10, whatever you want to call it. It's something that I want to do moving forward, particularly in these COVID times, to catch up with bands, have a chat to see where they're up to with their albums, recording, etc. And I'm here with Trav from Puncture Wound. Trav is the founder and guitarist of Puncture Wound. They're an old school death metal band hailing from Queensland in Australia. Welcome, Trav.
Thanks for having me.
That's okay. You're my first victim. Hopefully it's pretty painless for you. Last time we caught up was in Brizzy last year for the awesome metal festival, Shredfest. That was so cool. You guys did an awesome setup there. There was Ulcerification, Laceration Mantra. There was so many bands. Bit of a different time now, isn't it? There's just nothing happening, so it's a bit of a shocker.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but you guys have just released this absolute banger of an album. I haven't been able to turn this off, to be honest. Complete carnage of coagulating, cacophonous corpses. I can finally say it. Big congratulations on this. This is such a solid listen. You must be so happy with it. The reviews that have been coming in have just been, no one can really fault it. Were you expecting the reviews and the amount of them and the positivity to come this quick after its release?
Probably not. You'd like to think that we were going to expect it because we were pretty proud of it, but
yeah.
No, it's been really surprising and very, very happy with it all.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you've obviously got a pretty solid fan base now, and your first EP, Brutal Butchery of Bargain Basement Bodies, that was such a killer EP. Then you've teased us with, Necro Insemination and Anthem of Agony with your Friday the 13th Part 1 and 2. So I feel like your fans, including myself, were just sitting there waiting for this and then just pounced on it straight away. So, yeah, really well done to you guys, that's for sure. There's a theme going on here, I can tell. Like, you've got all the B's, now you've got all the C's. What do we expect next? Are we going with D, or is that just a coincidence having all B's and all C's for your album titles?
No, we're definitely going with all the D's for the next album.
Awesome.
And we've actually got a couple of different titles floating around at the moment between us, but we haven't decided on it yet.
Yeah, right. So you all kind of chip in to come up with the album name?
Yeah, we'll just throw it.
Yeah, right.
Throw in a few different combinations or ideas.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you're going to make me guess this one?
When the time comes, yes.
Oh, God. Oh, man, that was hard work. I think I got 2 of the C words. I can't remember now, but I think I might have got 2. It was pretty miserable effort, but I tried. I was coming up with every vile C word you can think of.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, absolutely. This album comes with an awesome lyric pamphlet, which I love. It's also up on Bandcamp. The lyrics, obviously, they're very gore inspired. They're very violent. They're true to old school death metal. What inspires these lyrics though? Like, are we basing these on a particular kind of horror genre or a horror movie in particular?
Nothing in particular. It's basically everything just as a whole. So like between Gene and myself, we'll sit down and come up. Basically, we start with a song title first.
Yeah.
And then once we're happy with a good, strong song title, then Gene just goes away and he writes his lyrics.
Yeah, okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I did notice from, your Brutal Butchery lyrics to this, there seems to be a bit of a step change. There's a lot more depth to these lyrics. And I loved the lyrics for Brutal Butchery, but yeah, I can feel a real maturity in the lyrics with this one. Was that a conscious decision, or was it just sort of the next transition, or where's the change come from?
The change comes from Gene, because I wrote the lyrics on the Brutal Butchery.
Okay.
So a lot of those lyrics were written before Gene joined the band.
Right.
So then when he stepped come to the band and joined, it pretty much I said, well, we agreed that this is his thing, so he should go away and do it. And it's obviously his vocab's much better than mine, and he's into poetry and all that type of stuff. To me, it's great.
Yeah, there was parts of it that almost even felt cathartic at times. Really, really good lyrics. Really enjoyed it, because I do take the time to read the lyrics. The artwork is absolutely deadly. You know, it completely fits the music. Who's the artist, for one, and is it the same artist that did Brutal Butchery? Because I can see there's a little bit of similarity, but do you guys come up with the concept and give that to the artist, or do they come up with it based on your music, or how does that sort of work? Because it's absolute deadly art.
Okay, so pretty much we've been lucky for Brutal Butchery. The artwork was done and up for sale.
Okay.
So we jumped in and brought that, and then we came up with the title around the artwork. And then for Complete Carnage, it was pretty much a similar thing. The artwork was actually originally a commission job for another band, another death metal band out of Malta, and they weren't happy with it for some reason. So I think something to do with the colour scheme or something. And so the artist, who is Demorph Art from, I believe he's from Russia,
Okay.
he put it up on his website for sale, and as soon as we saw it, we pretty much snapped it up.
Yeah.
And then we did the same thing again. The title of the album was based around just looking at the artwork and trying to get a feel for what we wanted.
That is really interesting. I really like that style of coming up with the name as well. That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of like working backwards a little bit. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. So, you know, post this album, you guys had this plan to be released this year. We didn't know we'd be living in these bloody, whatever the fuck day it is, COVID times. It's obviously affected your plans, because usually your next would be to do a bit of a tour of the album, even if it's just locally, and everything's shut down now. So have you guys kind of got together and talked about a post-COVID strategy about where you're going to attack with this album on the stage and whatnot? Are you thinking that far ahead at the moment, or what's your plans basically for touring?
Yeah, we haven't really discussed much because we just don't know what's going to go on. Like a lot, obviously, you can see a lot of bands are starting to postpone and then reschedule, and you just don't even know if that's going to be a waste of time yet. So I just don't want to jump that far ahead.
Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, it's hard to know. I mean, there are bands that are looking at playing gigs in November, but yeah, it's all up in the air, that's for sure. So yeah. Something to think about.
The album itself, the Friday the 13th Part 1, that was actually supposed to be the original release date for the whole album.
Right.
So the way that the two singles worked out was just pretty much by fluke.
Yeah.
So originally we started recording the album, getting it mixed, and we just started falling behind schedule, and we weren't going to make that deadline. So we pretty much just pushed for one song, which we said was going to be the first single, and we released that on Friday the 13th.
Right.
And then when I spoke to the label about actually a release date for the album, like between obviously holidays, him going away, my holidays, the band, everything else, it wasn't going to look like April was going to be the release date. And then I noticed there was another Friday the 13th before then. So that's sort of how the concept came for the two singles.
Okay, yeah, good idea. It worked out for you then.
Yeah. So, because we tried to get the album out a lot earlier, but it just wasn't, the schedules between us, the label, and everything else just wasn't working out.
Yeah, okay. As far as getting physical copies to people, I'm assuming you're probably getting people from overseas as well. Has this affected anything for you guys with sales?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Within Australia, not a problem at all.
Yeah.
So nothing's affected that. So it's still the same price. It's a little bit slower with the delivery, but for international, it's pretty much postage is more than the CD itself.
Yeah, that's hard. I've noticed that because I've gone to buy a few things overseas and been like, because the postage is nearly 3 times the amount of the actual tape or the CD or vinyl. So yeah, it's a bit of a tough one, that's for sure. Yeah. Okay, so we know that it's hard to plan gigs around this time. I've noticed there's so many artists, they've got so much creativity flowing because there's not really a lot to do. I mean, some of us are still working, but after work, there's not much to do as well. Is the creativity still flowing for you guys? I mean, are you still keeping that moving for another album? I know it's only just dropped, but while it's flowing, is there riffs being written and lyrics happening, or just taking a break?
No, pretty much we're using it to our advantage. We've got 2 complete new songs and 2 others that are about 80% done. Musically, they're done, so it's just a matter of finalising the structure and the order of the songs.
Yeah, right.
So we're pretty close to having 4 new complete ones.
Wow.
And yeah, Gene's just doing his thing with the lyrics. I haven't read it or seen any lyrics at this point for him, but they're slowly coming along.
Okay, awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah.
So when we get back to normal, whenever that is, do you think you're ever going to come to the East Coast? I'd love you guys to come to Sydney. There's such a good scene here, but I know it's not easy. But I had to ask the question, the cheeky question.
Yeah, obviously we'd love to. It's just a matter of, I suppose, everything lining up, because it's to get 5 people down there with all their equipment. It's a costly exercise.
Yeah.
So obviously we know we're not going to make money out of it, but if we could recoup some of the costs and make it a bit more feasible, that'd be great. But to get 5 people down there and all the equipment, it's a fair bit of money.
Yeah, yeah. See, we don't think of things like that when we're just wanting our bands to come, but it's a good thing to talk about for people to understand. It's not just as easy as packing up and going into for a gig, as nice as that would be. You guys, obviously you've been getting great reviews from reviewers. What about the fans? Have you had direct feedback from fans, and have you been able to gauge that on physical copy sales, digital sales, etc.?
Yeah, definitely. Well, the sales has already surpassed the Brew and Butchery.
Yeah, right.
And I've had probably 2, maybe, what was it, 3? Definitely 2 people say it's their album of the year so far.
Wow, that's awesome.
Which is amazing. That's a massive call.
That's huge, and that's really good. I'm very happy for you guys. That's sure it's so deserved. You guys have just dropped a new shirt design. I think I shared it on my Insta and Facebook as well. The album as well, it's all up on Bandcamp, yeah? Is there anywhere else that people can purchase the album and the shirts?
Okay, well, we've got a little bit of extra stuff which is direct from us. We don't put on Bandcamp, mainly because of the fees that they charge.
Yeah.
Obviously, the label 1054 has got copies of the CD for sale. Mm-hmm. I believe he's been trading with other labels around the world, so there might be some copies from smaller labels or distros around the world.
Yeah.
So, but mainly us, we do a lot of sales through Bandcamp, and I've got a few little pieces in there that say this is only for sale through us, and so people will contact me and say, do you have any of this in stock? And away we go.
Okay, well, that's good to know as well. All right, Trav, are you ready for the Manic 10?
Oh, here we go.
Oh God, it's tough questions. So it's not really. The rules are just one word answers. What the first thing that pops into your head. So here we go. Favorite song to air guitar to?
Fuck.
That sounds like a good song. Next question.
No,
Guilty music pleasure.
Has to be OSDM.
Okay. Slasher films or supernatural horror?
Slasher.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
Don't sing, so again, fuck.
Okay. Pantera or Disturbed?
Neither.
I thought you were going to say Pantera. I was going to have to reevaluate our friendship if you said Disturbed. Have you ever drunk pina coladas and got caught in the rain?
I believe so. I think yes.
Yeah? Awesome. Yeah. Cannibal Corpse or Death?
Fuck. Cannibal Corpse.
Cannibal Corpse. Ultimate band to share the stage with?
Suffocation.
Favourite Australian local metal festival?
Metal festival. Probably have to go with Shredfest now.
Yeah, that was deadly. That was so good. All right, last question, Trav. Palm muted riffs or trem picks?
Palm muted riffs.
I'm such an idiot. That was my Manic 10.
Awesome.
But thank you so much for catching up with me. This was really cool. Yeah, big congrats on the release of your debut full length. It's such a good good album. If you guys haven't heard it yet, please jump onto Bandcamp and have a listen. Trav, if there's anything else you'd like to say for the listeners, go for it.
Just thanks to everyone who's supported us so far. We greatly appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you out there soon.
Awesome. Can't wait to see you guys on the stage, that's for sure. Thanks heaps, Trav.
Thanks, Gal. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.